Hola, hola. Bienvenidos a Esperanza Vence, donde la Esperanza Vence. Welcome to Esperanza Vence, where hope wins. Happy 420, y'all. Time of the day, time of the year, December 2nd. Holy moly, 2025. Of course, I start this and then the refrigerator decides to kick up. Um, ooh, Five of Swords reverse just jumped. That's a card of people thinking that they're winning an argument because they got all the swords, but here it's going to become more apparent, like who's on your side and who's not on your side in terms of intellectual affinity, in terms of like how they interact with others. Okay, so that was our jumper for today. I'm still going to pray over these cards. I'm having a little bit of cheers. I have really been having a relationship with Damiana lately. I used to work with Damiana. I used to package it up every day and put labels on it and ship it out because I used to work at a shaman shop back in the day. Hmm. But yeah, I kind of like lost touch with Damiana, and then recently I got in touch with it again. And then I have my candles going, Sag season, Gable Girls matches. Someone's calling me. But yeah, let's do our 10 card pull for the Gemini full moon coming here. So good. Let's pray over these cards and see what we get. Five of Swords reversed, giving us some flavor. Que sabor. Que sabor rico. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Is there anybody here? I decided to do these live just because it gives me more practice, like doing things live. Like either way, the cards are gonna get pulled, right? So it gives me a chance to kind of play around with this. Play around with this. And that's the thing about Gemini energy too. It's like great energy to play. It's great energy for fun and play and curiosity and questions and talking and pollinating and knowing a little bit about a lot of things and tasting little small plates. Oh, I love that. Let's see here if I can find. Oh, yeah, I think I'm the only. Oh, hi, Brandy. Hey, sweet Brandy. Uh, See, this is my issue is that I my issue is that well, many of my issues, but one of my bigger issues is that like doing this, I gotta chill out and like pretty much like sit on my hands so I don't go into the chat so much because I forgot to put like a chat. But I'm here to read these cards for us for this full moon in Gemini. And I was just vibing with that tune that was playing at the beginning of this video. Thanks so much for being here, and thanks so much for fine-tuning your free will and intuition with me. Where does Gemini fall in your astrology chart? If you want to, you can go to astro.com and put in your birth information and figure that out. The slice of the pie that has the number 12 in it should give you some clues. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what gives me clues. And see, that's the exact thing. It's like I am so spaced out lately. I'm so um this moon falls in my 12th house and I've been like having it's been highlighting like my disruptive sleep patterns. It's been highlighting like extrasensory communication. It's been highlighting hidden things, including like maybe even hidden like frenemies or enemies or something like that, or vibe, not like a person necessarily, but like a more subtle undercurrent vibe and like underworld vibe almost, you know what I mean? Um, Mercury is the planet that rules over the zodiac sign of Gemini, and Mercury is also known as a psychopomp. So we do have that underworldly quality with this moon, especially because Mercury happens to still be in Scorpio, just stationed going to direct now. And it's penetrating communications. This is truth piercing through fog. You know, a lot of us have our eyes on Venus trining Saturn, Neptune, this trine, this grand water trine between Jupiter and Saturn and Venus. I have my eye on Uranus that just went back into Taurus recently, making aspects to like I feel like Uranus and Neptune are low key gonna change, or maybe high key, gonna change things. There's an electric quality to the mist. And the mist is thick and it's almost like a solid mist. I don't know, it seems like weird to say that. Um, I'm feeling the Mars in Sagittarius vibe is really kind of there's a hey, why don't I do this, silly me, while I talk about this? Why don't duh, why don't we look at it? Let's see, let's make it bigger. So yeah, you could see like this huge party going on in Sagittarius. Venus in Sagittarius is pretty fun. Um, you know, she can get a little bit lighter than she was in Scorpio. In Scorpio, she was like that cute goth girl in the corner with all the tattoos who was like a little bit more quiet, didn't really want to talk to everybody, but could vibe out everybody in the entire room. Now Venus is more of a athletic, um, maybe even sporting, a pickleball player or a maybe a golfer. She's fun, she's daring. She'll take a couple of shots or do a keg stand. Venus in Sagittarius is also warm, and she's lighting her candles and she's keeping the flames. The sun and Mars aren't too far off. And I also noticed that for this chart, even though like the part of fortune is a personal thing, I don't know why. I guess I just forgot to remove it when I ran this chart, but I did notice that it's right over there by the galactic center. So that's kind of interesting how if we take things personally, um, you know, I always kind of want to think about the galactic center as like that dark part in space, whereas Polaris guides us, the galactic center sucks us inward. And it also gives us a reference point to greater universes than ourselves and our own, and how we're woven into all of that. So, that said, why don't you take a look at what I was talking about? Uranus and Pluto over here. Pretty much, I mean, they're not in a exact, but close to a trine. And I feel like the Uranus Neptune, I feel like everything is pointing towards Neptune and Saturn, basically. I feel like these nodes, the North and the South node in Virgo and Pisces, are kind of pulling Like, I feel like the North Node in Pisces is the bow. I feel like the South Node in Virgo is the pulling back. And I feel like things are shooting towards Neptune and Saturn. What I mean to say is, I think that the direction that we're aiming towards is a higher perspective with more love, more compassion, more dreaminess, more ability to swim in those realms and to swim in those waters without necessarily drowning. We still have our boat. We're pulling back into Virgo. What we're pulling back from, what we're pulling back from is having to be so precise about everything, having to prove everything, having to have logic for everything, having to have science for everything. What is science anyway? Those might kind of be questions that we'll be asking ourselves now into the near future. Oh, speaking of Gemini, wow, at the bottom of the deck we have the Lovers reversed. So, the Lovers reversed is going to be a card of times where we thought we were making a soulmate choice, times where we thought we were making a loving choice, and maybe it wasn't the path. Maybe it wasn't for us. Maybe it didn't have our name on it. But with the Lovers reversed, we're definitely internalizing things that might have happened in Gemini season before, things that might have happened in the new moon in Gemini earlier this year. That was around the, gosh, the new moon in Gemini. When was that this year? I can't even remember. But you can look back at my playlist because I know I did a video about it. Um, yeah, think about 6 months ago. What was going on then and like what choices were we making to be lovers, to be loving, to love ourselves, to love others, to take a soulmate path along the way? This is gonna sit and protect our reading too. So we got two reversed cards. That's usually us more standing on the sidelines of these energies and internalizing these energies. Again, with the Five of Swords reversed, we might just be observing situations where people are trying to win. And I just hope that we're moving into more of a playful place where we're having fun playing and we're having fun sharing ideas and we're having fun. We're not trying to like one up other people and then just have other people just not like want to play with us because it's just no fun to play with us because we're just too like competitive or something, like intellectually competitive or something, or too competitive with our words, too sharp with our words. And then with the Lovers reversed, yeah, maybe we're sort of like rethinking how we're going to put ourselves out there in soulmate situations with people, places, or things. Let's pray over these cards. Okay. Thank you for fine-tuning your free will and intuition with me. This is us, our challenge, the near past, the near future, our conscious awareness, our subconscious awareness. How do we see ourselves? How do other people see us? Or maybe who's in our environment right now? What are our hopes and fears? And what's the likely outcome if we just keep doing what we're doing? What are we likely to attract to ourselves? And what are we likely to bring to the table? Let me see. Is this the bigger screen? Nope. All right. That's as big as it gets. I want you to be able to see these cards. Oh, maybe I could go like this. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, now you can see these cards. Who are we? We're the star. Our challenge is the Page of Swords. The near past is the Five of Cups. Near future is the Moon reversed. Huh. So I wonder, maybe this is going to be a topsy-turvy full moon, because the full moon is actually a couple of days into the future. It's coming in on the 4th. It's near future. It sure is. Our conscious awareness, Ace of Cups reversed. Our subconscious awareness, Nine of Wands reversed. How do we see ourselves? How do we self-identify during this full moon in Gemini? Seven of Cups. Oof, that's that Neptunian fog that we were just talking about. What's in our environment, or how do people see us? Six of Swords. What are our hopes and fears? What kind of like vibes are we projecting? Death. Well, I guess that's, yeah, like duh. I mean, most of us have either a hope or a fear of death. Like, sorry, but and the likely outcome if we just keep doing what we're doing, Ace of Pentacles reversed. Well, a lot of transformative energy. And if we keep doing what we're doing, we might really be reconsidering where we're investing our resources and how we're investing our bodies, our actual physical earthly selves, into things on this mother planet. With the star card, signifying us, signifying the querent, signifying the moon itself. It's interesting that for the energy of the moon, we're supposed to look towards the stars. Also, it could indicate that something topsy-turvy could literally be happening with stars, like as in celebrities. Like, you know, you could kind of like take and play with these cards and use them literally and to make a sentence if you wanted to. If we're talking about the moon in general, the Gemini full moon in general, well, Gemini is trickster energy. Gemini is the media. Gemini is TMZ. Gemini is gossip. Gemini is slander. Even Gemini is talking too much. Gemini is Kanye West. Gemini is celebrity energy, especially if there's Sagittarian fire, Leo fire, then that air just blows all over it, okay? And it inflames whatever fire is already lit in these people, places, and things. So it's just something to consider, that could be a potential interpretation. As far as you and I are concerned, the star card is Aquarian energy. The star card is keeping our hopes alive. The star card is Esperanza Pense. Esperanza means hope, and Pense means to prevail. So with the star card, our hope prevails. You know, we understand that like the Pleiadian sisters here are protecting us. We understand that Aquarian energy has to do with like the vibes that we get in are the vibes that we get back. You know, this is I'm not gonna really worry about her artistically placed boobs, man. I'm not YouTube, ay caramba. Um, the water bearer is somebody who gives a container for the collective emotions of humanity. They're able to embody their full naked selves with confidence and serenity. Maybe she's drinking her Damiana. I'm just kidding. No, but like, this is a very chill, divine, cold energy too. Imagine how cold that water is. It's dark outside, naked under the stars. Even in the summertime, that could be chilly business. But do you see how lush and verdant everything is? Do you see the bird and the tree in the background? Representing a connection between heaven and this character. Whenever we see a major arcana card, we know that we're dealing with larger overarching archetypal themes. So the Aquarian theme has to do with humanity itself. So this full moon in Gemini itself might be highlighting themes, especially dualistic themes. Like if one story comes up, then there's going to be another one right behind it. I think we're going to see things in pairs, in twos, and especially Aquarian vibes have to do with technology, you know, futuristic things. I think we're going to be having our whiplash almost between like things going on back and forth. The challenge, the Page of Swords, is how are we going to get a handle of all these communications, and with the information coming in so quickly and new starts and having to restart and having to reword and like with the challenge position, the Page of Swords is getting a handle on our thoughts, our communications, our words, our emails, how we logistically plan for situations, and how we cut through with the sword of truth to understand fact from fiction. With the Page of Swords, this could be a younger person in our lives too, a Gemini, a Libra, an Aquarius person who might be challenging our ability to be our true, beautiful, naked, safe, humanitarian self who is pouring into the collective. Okay? The star card represents the collective. This is pouring of ourselves into the collective and pouring the collective into the earth and regenerating. Earth is the home of the Aquarian. You know, even though the outer space has a lot to do with Aquarian energy, Earth has a huge, huge part of Aquarian energy because it's that human aspect. We are Earth. With this challenge in communication, we may find that, you know, maybe we're held back by our own emotions. In the near past, we might have been grieving about someone or something, and it might have set us to a little bit of toxicity. It might have set us to some toxic behavior. Do you see that one cup that spilled is green? The other ones were wine. So maybe we were dabbling a little bit too much in the poisons. Maybe sometimes the remedy can become the poison if we overdo it, if we wallow, if we cry a river of tears. Grief is a necessary process, and we do need to cry, and we do need to solemnly honor what has passed and what has floated down the river or raged down the river even. These are emotions, though, that need to flow. They need to stay in flow, because when that water becomes stagnant, that's when things become problematic. So in the near past, this person might have been cut off. They might have been giving their back to situations. They might have been withheld. They might have been emotionally stunted because of grief and or drinking through grief or self-medicating through grief. Okay. And then in the near future with the moon reverse, we kind of touched on this before, but like moon energy has to do with our own intuition, what we know and can't explain with logic. This is that Piscean force that we were talking about when we were looking at the astrology chart, of just pulling away from and shooting towards, more of us being able to say, I don't know how I know it, I just know it. My instincts are telling me. My instincts. I'm standing between these pillars of knowledge, and I'm on the path, even though here, I'll show you it upright first. The moon upright is definitely a card of, like I said, Mercury and Scorpio, scorpionic things coming up through from the depths. And I see the path, but I see what I have to cross to get there. I have to face my own ickies. I have to face my own domestic side and my wild side to be able to walk through these pillars of knowledge by the light of the moon. It's not clearly lit. I have to trust my feet. I have to trust my own internal behavior, my own shadow. I have to trust that I can swim across and beyond and not get bit by my own personal, Romulus and Remus, which is interesting because Romulus and Remus represent twin energy, Gemini energy, Gemini full moon. And we're getting it in reverse in our reading. So like I said before, this moon might really illuminate some topsy-turvy energy, or it might illuminate where we need to strengthen our intuition even more, and where smoke and mirrors may have led us astray with that Neptunian fog, with Saturn going back into Pisces, going back to solidify our faith process. That moon coming up on the 4th might highlight, the ways in which we need to deal with our own mirror and our own twinning energy internally, in order to be sure that we can trust our own intuition even. How can we trust our own intuition if we're not staying grounded? How can we trust our own waters if we have never taken a swimming lesson? If you know what I'm saying? I would never throw a toddler into the ocean, So consider where we are. I'm using water as a metaphor for our own emotions, obviously. And here we go with the Ace of Cups reversed in our conscious awareness. Speaking of an overabundance of water, we have this God-given gift of capacity to emotionally receive and give. Most of us, some people are definitely just not there. Some people are dead inside. Like I promise you, there's just people that are just empty. I promise you. But most of us understand what cups means. Most of us have a capacity to give and receive emotionally, and to love and to be loved and to express love. And this is an overabundance and an expression of love. This is us like loving too much. This is us like squeezing the teddy bear until the eyes pop off. You know what I mean? So here we're keeping our cup in a healthy, steady flow, but it's pure and people want to drink from it and it's fresh. Here it's creating puddles. Here it's moving in the wrong direction. Here it might even be contributing to some sense of stagnation. And here it might be a lack of faith in our internal ability to emote, especially with the two aces in reverse in this reading, Ace of Pentacles and Ace of Cups. I'm getting a vibe here of us needing to maintain more confidence in our own emotional stability and ability as well as our ability to take care of our own health. If we take care of our own health, then we have a good container for our emotions. With the Nine of Wands reversed in our subconscious position, this is us subconsciously struggling and not really having that be known. Here, everybody can see that this person is hanging in there and hanging on, and you know, it's visible to others. They're in a winning position, but they've really had to fight for it, and they've really had to struggle and go through some woundedness, especially woundedness in front of others. And here it's more internalized. Again, inverted cards, internal energy is how I read it. Tell me how you read it. How would you read it? With the Nine of Wands reversed, I'm reading a person who might be struggling more internally, a person who might be bringing those wands inward. And this is another reason to really get a hold of that Ace of Pentacles in the body, so that that fire has a way to channel itself through and cleanse the earth in the process. With the Seven of Cups, how we see ourselves, this is a nebulous energy of indecision. This is us maybe not being sure where to pour this cup. Like, we know we have this cup to give, we know we have this cup to offer, but we're not really sure where to pour it. We're not really sure what drink to choose at happy hour. I mean, we may just be indecisive in general. We may think that every little decision is like something to hem and haw over. It's Gemini energy right now. So in the air, there's going to be a lot of choices. And so why not have a little bit of everything? That could be a good idea during a Gemini full moon. With the Six of Swords in our environment, you know, it seems to others and it seems to be encouraged that, you know, we move on to better waters, that we're moving on to better waters. People see us as having improved our situation. People see us as having moved on from a chaotic vibe, chaotic way of containing the water, chaotic way of swimming, a chaotic way of rowing our boat. We're taking our intellectual property with us. We're taking our ideas with us, but not in like a Five of Swords way, to where we feel like we're like the winner of an argument. Maybe sometimes from the Five of Swords to the Six of Swords, I can see these two people walking away from this one, and then they end up in this boat and they go off to better waters, because they just didn't want to play the games. They want nothing to do with their dirty, tricksy habits. Who feel smug because they think they got the last word in or something, or maybe that's going to be within our communications. A lot of us chat online. Maybe during this Gemini full moon, we need to be aware of holding back for half a second before we press send. Like, do we really understand what the other person is saying and conveying? Because a lot of us communicate without even like any type of tone, intonation, any type of you know, like voice, vocal recognition, facial recognition. And wow, you know, like, just to go by the written word, that's risky business. In our environment, death, or I'm sorry, hopes and fears, death. So we may be hoping for and yet clenching about a culmination process, a death process, a shedding for good of any element of behavior or a part of ourselves that really needs to go. We might be afraid for others. We might be afraid that death is surrounding us, that the scorpionic energy, that Mercury is doing the psychopomp thing and sort of ferrying the souls to the other side. And we might be afraid of the other side of the veil. We might be afraid of death. We might be hoping that some things end. We might be hoping that some kings fall, you know, like in this card, the king is fallen, you see. And then the poor child, and then the religious person, and the normal lady here, they're kind of like begging for, we all, I don't know. I think there's a few people that go into death gracefully, but I don't go into much gracefully. So I mean, I would probably be like, I don't know. But yeah, to hope and fear the death process is just us externalizing that energy. That's us like having a good, healthy look at what scares us and facing it. And then, like I said, if we keep doing what we're doing, like the likelihood is that, we'll be reconsidering how to take care of our earth, how to take care of the divine gift that God has given us of being here on earth. The pentacle, the one pentacle, the egg, that's the egg that gets fertilized and becomes us. The host, the communion host, the body, that's us. Like that's our body. That's how we care for our coin, our body. How do we use our coin? How do we make our bread? How do we bring home, the bread that's in the shape of a circle too. I buy loaves of bread that are in that shape, and it's the bread of life. And um, should we care for it with a gentle hand, we will walk a peaceful path. So we might be really reconsidering how we care for our water and how we care for our seeds, figuratively or metaphorically or literally also, because I have some farmer friends that watch these videos too. So yeah, we might be really reeling it in terms of not letting our water get away from us. And I can think of that in Wisconsin in general, like not letting our water overflow, not letting our water get away from us, and stewarding our land. And that's what I got for you for the full moon in Gemini. Thank you so much for being here. Um, I put some links in the chat. I really appreciate you, Brandy, for being here. I don't know if anybody else is here because I didn't check again, but I love you very much. And I hope that whoever needed these card messages will roll on through and find this video eventually, because that's what it's all about. I love watching so many of your videos, and I'm always so happy when you like to fine tune your free will and intuition with me. I'll see you on the next one. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thursday, on the day of the Gemini full moon, Rafi Dahl from Night's Light Astrology. He's Classy Rafi on X. You could check him out. Oh, yeah, you can check him out here on X. Um, that that's where he posts his articles, and he has like these really wonderful insights about mundane astrology, finance, and current events, and those are all topics that I am completely under a rack about. So I know about flowers and dirt and food and love, and he knows about love too. Um, so yeah, we kind of like to play and talk. So what a Gemini thing to do on a Gemini day. Well, I suppose it's Jupiter's day technically, but see you on Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I love you. Bye.